Thank you so much, Dina. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and panelists, welcome to our discussion on the profound impact of AI on society. As we gather here today, we stand on the intersection of innovation and responsibility, where the promise of AI meets the imperative of ethical stewardship. From healthcare to transportation, from education to entertainment, AI permeates every facet of our lives, shaping our interactions, decisions, and aspirations. Yet, with great power comes great responsibility too. Together, let us explore the opportunity and challenges that AI presents and strive to forge a future where technology serves the society, where technology serves humanity with compassion, equity, and integrity. Let's welcome our panelists, Solange Márquez, Dina Grijalva, and Matheus Falcão. So thank you for your participation and welcome to the panel. So maybe we can start with a quick roundtable to present yourselves. Ladies first, Solange.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the ambassador. Thank you, Christina. Thank you to my cousin, Nancy. Everyone in the embassy, thank you for organizing this. I think it's an amazing effort. I am very happy to be here. I'm Solange Márquez. I am a lawyer and a political scientist. I have been studying the relationship between the use of artificial intelligence and how it affects and interacts with the democracies and the raising of populism and autocracies around the world. So here today, I am here to talk about these topics, and thank you, Jemai.
Thank you. Dina, please.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very glad to be here. I'm Dina Grijalva. I am former president of CANIETI. CANIETI is the chamber of the high technology industry in Mexico. I am the former president of the chapter in web chapter that is in Jalisco, based in Guadalajara. And our minister didn't say, but Jalisco is known as the Silicon Valley of Mexico. I mean, it's a high-tech, really, a high-tech territory. I am very pleased to be here and see how many collaborations, I mean, we can make during the launch. I will have the opportunity to have this network, but I am really glad to be here. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, Nancy. I mean, to have us here. And as president of the CANIETI, I am very eager. I mean, to see how new technologies like AI can help us, but also to democratize this, as our peer Jorge said, is very important to let people know all the good things and the opportunity, because many people, I mean, is very afraid about AI. They are thinking about the movies, about these movies, fatalist movies, and really we have in front of us the biggest opportunity I think we ever had before. I mean, for all, and it's, I mean, transforming our world, but also we need to let them aware about the risks that this can have. And maybe we can, I mean, we can talk later about this, but very glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Matheus, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lilia. Greetings, everyone. I'm also very honored and pleased to be here sharing this amazing debates with you all. I'd like to thank the Mexican Embassy for the cordial invitation. My name is Matheus. I currently have a position at the University of Ottawa at AI Plus Society and also at the Center for Law, Technology and Society at the same university. We are discussing topics like the emerging need to regulate AI and even more broadly, the digital transformation of our lives in specific topics like healthcare, food systems, climate change. And I hope I can contribute a bit with the debates today in these topics. Thank you.
Thank you. What's amazing expertise. So we are glad to have you in this panel. So my first round of question to all of you, how AI can be used for the benefit of humanity and society and the public? We can start with you. Yes, please.
Well, that's a very broad and interesting question. I believe there are many ways that AI can be used to optimize our lives. I'm going to start with an example that I feel like affects all of us and some topic that I have some research that is healthcare. There's a lot we can do in terms of this union of AI and healthcare by optimizing our health system, amplifying access to treatments, and getting better insights on diagnostics and identifying diseases in a very early stage, increasing our ability to provide better treatments to people. But in order to do that and benefit for this whole potential, and I feel like what I'm about to say now applies not only for healthcare, but all the topics that we're discussing here, we have to well address the risks. Promoting innovation, of course, but while tackling the emerging risks for the use of AI in these fields. And this is why we have to find this very tricky balance between innovation and regulation.
Thank you. Which one? Next one, please.
Okay, thank you. Yes, well, I mean, the AI is a so powerful tool that is, changing and transforming, as I said, all our world, right? AI is interacting on the way we learn, the way we teach, the way we live, the way, socially with the interaction, etc. And can be, the opportunities, for example, for all the scientific, research, like the one, that Jorge is doing, right, in materials. It's helping to get faster results and a lower cost. You can use in everything, but as my peer said, and right now I forgot to say my background is engineering, and I am surrounded by lawyers. This is very good. So, but like everything, I don't know if it's, if in English you can say, but every paradise has their snake. So yes, there are very, very good things, but also the risks that we need to be aware of them so we can identify and minimize the risk. But as I said, in front of us, we have huge, huge opportunity.
Thank you. Very quickly, I think we can use, we can democratize it, and we have been democratizing the use of AI. Something that I see and now in my job is the use in journalism. Downside is deep fakes, disinformation, misinformation. It is a risk that we all know, and we will talk about that later. But it is also an opportunity for journalists to use these tools to give or provide audiences and public with an instrument that they can use very easily to ask very easy questions. Is this a fake news or not? I have been involved in projects that we are creating chatbots for people to use to ask a very easy question. Is this a new, headline about, for example, Joe Biden or maybe Hillary Clinton? Is this true? Or it is fake news. So it is very easy for the people to use this tool, and it is easier for journalists. I am also a journalist, so it is easier for us to use this kind of tools and to take advantage of a very useful and powerful machine learning to give or provide truthful information for the audiences. So there are many ways that we can take advantage of this, the AI. There are many challenges, but we have to try to balance the use of the AI.
Thank you so much. So the deepfake is the tendency right now. So a lot of work to do with the researchers for sure. So my next question for you, Dina, can you tell us what actions and steps have been taken around AI in Jalisco?
Sure. Well, as I said, big opportunities, huge opportunity, but also proposing challenges. I mean, AI, what we have done that we are doing right now in Jalisco, we are working together. As we know in Jalisco, work together, the triple helix is government, private sector, and academia. And we have launched, a board of artificial intelligence in Jalisco. And this board, what we are looking for, the ultimate objective is precisely to design like a framework, regulatory framework for the design, development, and use of artificial intelligence. And the actions that we have done within this, this board is, for example, we have launched a batch for good ethical practices on AI that we are providing to companies. We are also designing training and giving this training, deploying this training to general public in order to democratize, the AI, the use of AI, but in a responsible and ethical way. Making them aware about all the huge opportunities that they represent, but also be aware about the risk and how to avoid them. And the last thing that we are doing right now is, trying to launch a lab in order also to foster the use of AI by micro, mini, and medium, companies in order to foster productivity, but to be used in a responsible and ethical way.
Thank you. It's a great presentation of the ecosystem. Thank you. So, Matheus, my question is for you. Given your expertise on AI policy and regulation, could you provide us an little overview of the current global landscape in terms of AI governance frameworks and regulation? Please.
Yes, thank you, Lilia, for the question. I feel like we are in a very relevant moment for AI regulation. We had a few trends in the recent year in terms of digital transformation and regulation. I feel like it started very much with the regulation of internet, and we can see that internationally in forum like the Internet Governance Forum. More recently, we had a second wave on privacy regulation and personal data protection. And these two movements are very important for AI. And now we are discussing globally and at national level as well, the regulation of AI. Both a general framework of regulation. This is something that Canada, for instance, is currently discussing to establish a new AI Act, something that the European Union is very active as well. But also sector regulations. So we have regulator discussing, and this is something that is happening here currently, discussing the regulation of AI-enabled medical devices, just to bring an example of a sector regulation. So I feel like we are in a very relevant and important moment in which new regulations and new AI governance tools are emerging, and this is the moment we should contribute the most and engage in this debate.
Are you seeing or experiencing a collaboration between policymakers and regulators with researchers to face these kind of challenges?
Yes, very much. And I feel like this is a trend to delegate with Dina when we are in a panel like this one with lawyers, political science, and engineering. I feel like it's very exciting because this is the trend. So I feel like academia provides this opportunity of building multilateral, but also multi-sector and interdisciplinary debates, and also engage with regulators and with authorities by providing case studies, regulatory inputs, by bringing together the private sector, civil society, and regulators to discuss what is needed for the regulation. I feel like this is something very important, and this is how academia can contribute. This is something we have been doing at the University of Ottawa, for instance, bringing up some case studies, just to bring an example. about how AI is being used already in the private sector and how these new tools provide good benefits, but also how we can regulate by learning with the developers what they did and what are the challenges.
That's amazing and exciting to see how policymakers collaborating with researchers to face this kind of challenges. So, Solange, how do you perceive the current role of AI in democratic process, and what are some of the most notable ways in which it's influencing elections and governance?
That's a very tricky question because always we want to be optimistic. Unfortunately, the balance today, as of today, is not really optimistic and is kind of negative. This year, we are going to face the most important election year in history. We will be more than 4.2 billion people will be in the ballot box this year. So it is going to be like more than 60 countries electing new leaders and new parliamentarians. So it is huge. We are facing elections in countries as important as India, United States, of course, Mexico, of course, but Finland, Parliament, the European Parliament, so many countries and regions. So what we are seeing now, it is a very huge misinformation, disinformation, deep fakes, and a lot of use of generative AI in creating this kind of misinformation. So just to give you examples of this, this month we have, we are still in January. So this month we have the election in Taiwan. So in Taiwan, we saw a lot of fake news in media that should be doing a research job, but unfortunately, traditional media is fighting against social media. So who is winning the news? Who's winning to have the video of the candidate to be the prime minister talking about sexual advancements to an intern? So they put the video, and after that, they have to do the correction. Unfortunately, the video is viral, and after that, the correction is never viral. So we are facing a very huge paradox because people is starting to lose trust in institutions, in democratic institutions and democratic values because of this news. But it is kind of cycle. It is a problem that we are seeing this misinformation and this fake news, and people believe in that, and they said, okay, we cannot trust in democratic issues. Who is making this? Well, the bad guys. We know the bad guys. They are trying to change our democracies in Western democracies' values. So they are going to work in all these countries, including Mexican elections, trying to push for an agenda, and a specific agenda. So unfortunately, as I said at the beginning, and I promise I will finish with that, my perception of the role of AI is not positive. But as I said in my previous participation, I think there are many things that we can still do. There are opportunities, and media has a very huge opportunity. We as academics, we have an opportunity to use AI. For example, I have now a GPT. You can find me, all of you who have a paid GPT, unfortunately, ChatGPT, you can find me as Mexican advisor. So it is just a trial. It is kind of trial. You can find me there and ask me questions about the Mexico-Canada relationship. So it is just an example of how we can put our knowledge there for the people to ask questions and democratize and give them the opportunity to find truthful information.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Dina, you commented about the badge of good ethical practices on AI. You are providing to companies with conditions those companies need to achieve in order to receive this badge.
Okay, what we are looking in those companies in order to provide advice is practices based on international standards. I mean, best practices that we are proposing. Those best practices are in the areas of data protection and privacy, very, very important in the use and development of AI. Also, transparency and objectivity, equitable. I mean, that AI is equitable in order to avoid, the bias in the use of AI. Also, that is human-centered. They need to prove, that the AI is developed in order to help, in benefit of humanity. Also, the other thing is that the AI is reliable and is responsible. And in all the phases, right? Designing, development, and use and deployment of that AI. And other thing also is that is informed by science and technology. When that they, prove that they have engagement, with with research, institutions and leverage, best practices of public and private sector. All these things, all these practices, they need, to provide, fundamentals, and that they are doing that in order to receive that badge.
Amazing. So, Mathieu, we'll do it quickly because we don't have a lot of time. Yeah. So, what are some key challenges or gaps you have identified in existing AI regulations?
Well, I'll try to be quick because this is a very important question. But first of all, I agree very much with Solange in terms of democratizing the regulation and the whole debate about it involving different stakeholders, civil society including. I feel like a major challenge is algorithm bias, and I'll let myself speak more about it. In terms of tackling algorithm bias by have enough data to fuel our AI tools. We know that data is very much the base of AI. And very often we have the development of AI tools that are not relying on the appropriate representation of a population, for instance. So if we compare, for example, Canada and Mexico, Canadian society is different from Mexican society. And in order to develop, let us say, an EA-enabled medical device for people that will be used in Mexico, perhaps if it's trained with data from Canadians, it won't fit Mexican population as much, and the other way around as well. So I feel like tackling challenges like this one, ensuring that we have good information, representative data for AI, it's one of the key challenges, and this is only one of them, but I feel like it represents very well the complexity of the debates we are facing here in terms of policymaking and regulation.
Amazing, amazing. A lot of challenges, I think. If we have a list, it would be infinite.
Indeed.
So, Solange, please, looking ahead, what are some key considerations for policymakers and civil society organizations in navigating the complex intersection of AI governance and democracy?
Well, and we don't have much time, but I think in my experience, something that we need to consider is human rights, freedom, and democratic values. I think if we can consider all these 3 points at least, we can create a public policy that make work for everyone. Unfortunately, we haven't seen this interest because self-regulation, because some people said that trying to regulate these initiatives will stop innovation. But I think it's not. I think there should be a public commitment from enterprises, from companies, to these 3 key points: human rights, liberties, and democratic values.
Thank you so much. I think we need to conclude this panel. So, someone want to add something before we finish? No. Yes, please, Mathieu.
Well, no, I just feel like this ending with Solange, it was very good. Democracy and transparency are the key values for the challenge of our time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you to our panelists and our moderators, and thank you for everyone for making my job easy and being on time. I really love that. Thank you.